I think if you do certain things for us, not you, somebody in your position, that we're not asking for, right? And then go, but this is what you need. Now we're back at the finger wagging where we're like, bro, I didn't even want that to be fixed. Why do you want credit for this thing we're not even asking for? So I think it's really about listening. What do you think people actually in America, what do you think people really need? If there's 5 issues, what are the things that they're concerned about?
Like all of them are some version of the same thing, which is freedom and security. And with that, I think democracy. But really, I don't think a lot of people come up on the street saying I want more democracy. I think there's a way that's absolutely true. But in terms of what people really want, I think people want to live a life of their choosing. They want things to work. They want our country to be better than any other country in terms of the quality of our roads and the strength of our economy and the kind of education they can get. Right? We want America to be the best place to live.
Roads. We go all over the country. Like we're actually weirdly good people. Comedians are good people to talk about when it comes to like the different parts of this country and how people are living, because we go every single weekend to every different weird, obscure part of this country. We're there. It's not just the big cities. Like we're everywhere, and it's roads everywhere. I ask people every time I go to a city because I want to know what's going on. I want to know what they're frustrated by. It's roads every single time. If this day one, you're like, I'm fixing every fucking road in America, and then you did, you'd be president. You know, because it's something people are actually frustrated by, and they don't feel like the government is answering. You know, what are the other 5 things like that? Okay, so that's one. Security is the other one.
Well, before we get to security, I think there's also like there's a sense that you can afford what you need in order to live. Like, that's why prices are such a huge problem, and it's why I think tariffs are the wrong medicine, because they might make certain things or be designed to make certain things better, but they don't make prices better, they make prices worse. Right. So affordability, housing, right? The ability to just like believe that you get a job, you get a promotion, you're going to get a house, or you're going to get a better house.
All right, how do we do it?
Right? So we got to build more houses.
How?
Well, we've got to strip away some of the barriers to building houses.
Talk that. This is what I like. Tell me.
Right?
Take back land.
What?
I don't know. It sounded fun. I'm just saying, like, I want to see the Democrats be a little more gangster. Like, Republicans would go, we're taking Greenland. What is your build a wall? What is your statement? What is your outlandish thing that you might not do, but it kind of riles people up? It gets the people going. Like, if you want to say, hey, we're going to seize this land and we're going to build 200,000 affordable housing units on it, that might make some people get excited.
It would get attention. Yeah, it would solve for that controversy thing. Not exactly how I would solve the problem, but point is like we need.
I'm being facetious, but there is a truth. There is some truth in it, which is like I don't know what the statement is for Democrats. I don't know what your build a wall is. Well, and you need a version of that, because those are the things that people attach themselves to. As Alex said, like he's like, hey, we're deporting all these people who are here illegally. And then you show the video and then people are like, that's what I voted for. And it's happening. I feel good.
I thought the Build Back Better that Biden tried to do was a good idea. And then it failed fairly quickly. And then that was just kind of the end of that.
I'm sorry. I feel like the thing we're kind of skirting, like touching on a little, I'm curious what you think. Like, it seems like from like a political philosophy point of view, it's easier for conservatives when looking at like the conservative liberal paradigm, because for liberals, they have to have a direction to go. They have to say, where are we going to go? And it seems like within the Democrat Party, there's a fracturing or like a bifurcating where you have the anti-Trump people that are like, we just hate Trump. And then you have sort of the economic, leftist liberal that says we need to tax the rich. And then you have sort of the social cultural war, Democrat that's like, we need to support all the downtrodden
Different
people.
ideas for progress.
And it seems so, spread and disorganized, whereas the conservatives just have to say, let's go back. And they can point at all the liberals and say, look how crazy they are. Let's just go back.
Yeah.
And so it seems like it's way easier for the conservative.
Oh, no question. Yeah. I mean, if the conservative project is just we're going to demolish, government is frustrating, irritating, doesn't always meet your expectations, so we're just going to burn it down, right? Or everything was better way back when, so we're just going to take you back there. Absolutely. I mean, that's what Make America Great Again is.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's why I think it works.
But the reality is like there is no such thing as, in the real world, there is no again. The future is going to look different. Look at the world we're going into. We're going into a world where AI is transforming everything. I think we're still at the outset of that. We're going into a world where China is a very different kind of player than it was not that long ago. We're contending with some really heavy things that are going to require really original thinking. And part of, I think, where both parties have a problem is a kind of nostalgia. So You've got the Republicans who are kind of nostalgic for the social order of the 50s. Like, women are in their place and we don't have to worry too much about, like, you know, any kind of minority, whether it's a racial minority or a gender minority, like asserting too much desire for freedom or equality. Like, everybody's in their place. And Democrats have a nostalgia for this kind of New Deal and post-World War II order. Like, in terms of foreign policy, it's the post-World War II framework that we set up with the UN and NATO that kind of made, you know, was our response to everything that happened. And then domestically, we set up this administrative state, which solved a lot of problems, but has now run the risk of collapsing under its own weight. Right. So we've got to cure ourselves of our nostalgia in my party and recognize that, like, there's no going back.
I do think it's a bit unfair to say that about Republicans. There's a faction of Republicans I absolutely believe that about with the social order. But again, you go to Middle America, and then it was very eye-opening for me. I went to a city, I think it was Toledo in Ohio, where I was like, oh, I expected a city and this place is like decaying. And anytime I made a joke about it at a show, they would like laugh so cathartically, like finally someone gets it. And I think when they hear Make America Great Again, I'm sure some people think about social order, but a lot of them are probably thinking, much like your town, we used to have the Studebaker or whatever here. We used to have manufacturing here. Bring that back.
Right.
The racial stuff, I don't care about that. I just want to make my city great again. That was what America was to me.
But to your point, like, what we had to do when I was mayor of South Bend was to move on from that. And it wasn't saying like we're done with manufacturing, we're never going to make things anymore. It was saying we're not going. There's no such thing as going back to the Studebaker days.
I'm just touchy because I think for liberals, liberals often will say that about conservatives. Oh, they like the social order. And I feel that's a bit dismissive of their pain. And not that you are very good about, I just think there's a messaging issue in the way they're often talked about.
Sure. And we should come back to that. But I think if you look at the actual conservative governing plan, though, not the talk, not the campaigning, not the posturing, what they actually do.
Okay.
I would say the biggest social policy commitment that they've made that they actually care about, to the point that they actually went through and kept it, was to get rid of the right to choose. It's number one project of the Republican Party on the social side.
Yeah.
It's one of the few promises they actually kept.
Yeah, that's valid, yeah.
And then economically, the biggest promise they've actually kept is tax cuts for the rich. Biggest thing that he did in his first term. And right now, it's up for debate right now. Literally, Congress it's not getting as much attention because all the other crazy things going on. But it's more tax cuts for the rich and for corporations, right? So to me, like, most of the stuff he said he was going to do, he didn't actually do. He didn't do the big infrastructure bill he talked about. We actually did it. He didn't even build the wall. That's the thing. Build the wall was like a galvanizing statement. It's not like he actually did it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you.
2% of it. But I want to do something we actually follow through on, right? Galvanizing statements that's all bullshit is not good enough.
Give me something.
I think what I'm saying is he's being hyperbolic. I can try to break it.
I'm not. I'm being dead serious.
Speak to people at an emotional level, even if it's not realistic.
Okay, so this brings us to the other thing that I think we've been skirting around a little bit, right?
What I'm saying is, tell people, if you want to help them, say the thing that you think they need help with out loud. Directly, and say that you're going to do it, and then endeavor to do it. We already expect you guys not to do it. So the least you could do is fucking lie to me. You don't even lie to me. Like, have the decency. It's like, we're married, okay? You're out there cheating on me with Scandinavians. He's good. He's good. You're out there cheating on me with Scandinavians, right? You don't have to throw it in my face. Do you know what I mean? Like, at least just do the decency of telling me the thing that I want to hear, and then endeavor to do it. Because right now, I don't know what is the platform? What is the Republicans did an amazing job of making the Democratic platform feel like this wasn't it at all. This was completely wrong, but they made it feel like, we're going to let the school do whatever they want to your kids' balls.
Right.
That
was their message for sure. And they talked about more about that than they talked about the economy.
College for anything is one of the greatest political ads I've ever seen.
No question, it was incredibly effective because it made it sound like that was all we cared about.
And you didn't have a message of something that you cared about that was loud enough to refute that,
or again controversial enough to get people as excited. Because our message in a way is
what did you care about?
I want everyday life to be better.
That's what they want too.
You get up in the morning, but importantly, like, all the controversies are over what that's like. Like, I want you to be able to get up in the morning and the first thing you do is you commute to work, and by the way, if you want an EV, I want that to be affordable for you, or if you're on public transit, not to get back into the subway situation, but I want you to have good public transit to get to where you're going. And then when you get to that job, I want you to be paid well. And if you're about to have a kid, I want you to know that you're going to have parental leave when you have that kid. And if you don't want to have a kid, I want you to have the right to choose whether to have a kid, which means access to birth control and abortion and those things that give you the freedom to decide on that. And if you already have a kid, when you pick them up at school, I want that school to be good, not having its funding slashed while they set fire to the Department of Education. And then when you get home, I want you to be in a neighborhood that is safe and where you can breathe the air, because we didn't let them get rid of the Clean Air Act. And you don't have to think for one moment about whether the air you breathe or the water you drink is clean and clear, which actually takes a lot, because it means the government has to constrain those actors that would make you unfree by polluting the air and polluting the water. And then when you go to bed, I want you to know that your family's going to be fine, even if it's family like mine, despite there being some Supreme Court justice who wants to obliterate your family because it doesn't match his interpretation of his religion. Like, that's the life I want everybody to be able to live.
Yeah, I think we can deliver that.
That's fine.
That's your promo for when you
Listen. I liked hearing that. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was beautiful. I know you want that. Tell me that it's gonna happen.
We can make.
And then how is it gonna happen? Like, that's the difference between, like, it's build the wall. And I keep harping on this, but I think it's important for Democrats to understand the effectiveness of that statement. Build the wall wasn't even about build the wall.
Right.
It's an idea.
It was an idea that satisfied a concern that people felt. So what are your ideas that are going to satisfy the concern? What you just told me are all these things that I also want. So now we're together. We both want the same things. But you didn't give me the solution to the feeling that I have. I too want a safe home. You didn't say security guard outside of your door every night, or whatever bullshit, you know what I mean? If it's more police on the street, whatever the thing is, punish petty crimes, whatever the thing is. So, and I think that there's a lot of Americans that are at the end of their hope, right? And they feel really disillusioned, and they feel this lack of trust that we've spoken about today, and simply wanting things that they want isn't enough. And I think that's when you said, like, current circumstances lead to a Trump victory. It's not like Trump populism. I think there was a rejection of the establishment for a lot of people. And then hearing from Kamala that she wasn't really going to do anything differently, I think that was a big mistake, because I think people wanted a change. So I think that's something that you guys should endeavor to do is tell us specifically what you're going to do that satisfies those things we're feeling. It seems you know exactly what we're feeling, because that was beautiful. I think all of us were like, yo, you just hit it. You knocked out the park. But I need the statements that are going to satisfy those feelings, because that's what gets people to sway over. And that's what they're fucking good at.
Yeah, the bumper sticker.
They are what? So what's a Democratic bumper sticker?
I'm working on it.
Fair enough.